Sorry guys, we're having some technical difficulties. Is it working now? Should be. I think it is. Let me know if we're lagging. It's our first time trying to do a live inside the paint booth, so. And we tried to do a sideways live, so it'd be a bigger screen. Anyways, we're still trying to figure it out. Hopefully you guys can hear us now. We got microphones today too, so let us know what the volume is like on your guys' end. We good?
Oh, awesome. Square body GMC and $6.99.
Thank you, Square Body GMC.
Double check that everybody can hear you guys.
Yeah, if you guys can't hear us, let us know. We're trying out the mics with this live. We did try out the mics on a different live previously, and we had some issues, but we're hoping that we got that figured out. YouTube stuff is still kind of trial and error for us as well, so trying to learn the whole system still.
I've got the mic is on.
Sweet. Oh, this is the boat I'm pressing out. Just going back to the same color red. And actually, I'm just noticing something. The rails are like really heavily chipped, and there's no primer under them. It's just paint on bare aluminum, whereas down here it's primed. So it definitely sticks better with the primer than bare metal, or whatever they use.
Yeah, and a couple people say they can hear you good too.
Sweet.
Success.
Great success.
Hello from North Carolina.
Hi. What's the weather like in North Carolina? Bet it's sunny. Sunny and warm.
Ooh, Terry's here.
How's it going, Terry? Ooh.
Got a couple other people joining in.
Does everybody have any big Valentine's Day plans?
We've got John from Oregon and Starlin from Mceown, Canada. Ooh,
I don't think I've ever heard of Muskoka, Canada.
heard of it, but yeah.
Whereabouts is that?
Yeah, where's this? We've got somebody from Detroit, Michigan. Just love the content.
Thank you.
Apparently there's lots of snow in Newfoundland.
I could have guessed that. Detroit has like a massive car culture too.
Terry says, all good. Thanks, Cass. Kat, how are you guys? I don't know if you can hear me, but good.
Kat says she's doing good. I don't know if you guys can hear her in the background because she's not mic'd up, but why don't you have a mic?
I just wanted to test the one first. You guys gotta work with this. I'll get my zipper delivered. From North Carolina. Oh, sorry, California.
Hi from North California.
Somebody wants to know what you're working on.
This is I actually don't know what year it is, but it's a 16-foot aluminum Lund boat. It's actually a really nice little fishing boat, and they just wanted, it was pretty marred up down the sides, and underneath of it, all the paint has like flaked and chipped off, so they wanted to get it painted. So yeah, just prepping it out for paint now, and that's basically all we're doing to it. I still got to get it off of the trailer, and my grandmaster plan is that I have 2 engine hoists, like cherry pickers, and I'm going to use one to pick up the back end and one to pick up the front end, and see how that goes. Never painted a boat before, so this is my kind of trial. And then there's a company right down the road from us. It's called AAA Marine. And they have a bunch of clients, like they do boat maintenance and storage. They have a bunch of clients that need like touch-up paints and repaints done. So I'm going to try this out and see if I like it, and if it's not too bad of a job, I'll probably do a couple more of them.
David's Wayne's here, and he sent $50.
Oh my God. Thank you, David. David Wayne's always here spoiling us.
I know, it's crazy. And he says, Happy Valentine's Day.
Aw, thank you, David. That's so sweet.
Yeah, then Terry says, Cat, where's the mic? It's dead.
No, it's not. Cash is being a boob. Trying to hide behind the camera like it's her job or something.
Terry says, is it a different technique from painting a car, like painting a boat?
Yeah, kinda. Like, it really depends on products, and I don't spray gel coat. There is a guy in Salmon Arm, like most boats are sprayed in gel coat, but I believe that's fiberglass, more on the fiberglass boat side. So this is an aluminum boat. It's definitely not sprayed with gel coat. It's sprayed with some sort of industrial single stage. So there is like kind of a difference between boats. But yeah, basically you just have to use a paint that's durable and waterproof. If you have bare open fiberglass on a boat, I believe you still have to use gel coat. But there is a guy in Salmon Arm that said that he'll teach me how to spray gel coat, and owns like a boat painting business. And he's so backed up with business that he said that he'd love to teach me how to do it so I could take some stuff off his plate. But this is my first go about it, so it's still kind of a learning experience for me. But yeah, this one we're going to spray with Delfleet Essentials, which is like an industrial single stage, and it more is like an enamel, whereas like an Endura single stage is more of a rubbery base thing. So it'll get sprayed with enamel paint instead of like base clear like we would do on a car.
Somebody said to the engine list or whatever that you have, it's just like, as Matt would say, use the engine stand.
That was good. That was a good. What video was that off? Was that off the last live or?
It was when Mike was at in Barrier with Matt, and that was like with one of the guys that were there, and they were trying to figure out how to lift something, I think, and then Matt was very confident and just tried to work for the specific tool. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I gotta watch that.
That is funny. Had to go buy a brand new engine stand the other day, or yesterday. I bought a new one from Princess Auto, spent like $400 and got a 2-ton cherry picker, and then I borrowed another one from Mike's. I actually initially rented one from Cooper Equipment, but when I brought it to the shop, it was leaking, and some of the O-rings were broken on it, so I ended up just returning it and going out and buying one because I needed one anyway.
Somebody says, curious, have you decided on what color you'll be painting the square body truck you're working on?
That square body is just going back to white because we're not doing any of the inners on it. Also, the square body's kind of been put on the back burner recently because, well, basically since beginning of November, I haven't even touched that truck because we went and did a bunch of like traveling for SEMA, and then I did 2 weeks out at Blair's, and then the last 4 weeks I've been up at Mike's doing that 70 Charger for him. Has any of the 70 Charger videos came out yet? Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah. So there is that. But yeah, no, it's just going back to white because we're not painting any of the inners. So I was just fixing the rest on it, and then it's gonna same thing, probably be sprayed with an industrial paint, like a single stage, and then I'm just gonna put a toolbox on it, and it'll just be kind of like a work truck. But I haven't got much time to work on it in between client things. But that's okay because that's just part of like whatever the Broke Chick Flip series, and nobody's paying me to work on that truck, so it's nice to be able to just like have a project that you can fill the spare time with. I know lots of people want to see it finished or whatever, but
John Stag said I painted boats for a couple of years. That's pretty cool.
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, David says this $20 is for Cat. Get you some chocolate for Valentine's Day, and then send $20.
Aw, thank you, David Wayne.
Thank you, David Wayne. Turn on if you can hear
Making
me.
Cat blush over there.
I know.
That or I turned the heat up because I'm actually feeling quite sweaty right now.
Red on me.
Yeah, I had to wash my face before this live because my face was like bright red and I was like trying to wipe it out of my hair. I don't know if you guys can still see it. There's still quite a bit of red in my hair, but this boat is staining everything.
Oh, somebody before said the lights look badass, and then Carrie says the lights are looking cool. I'm guessing that good lighting is because we're working on painting. So you see flawless.
Yeah, I'm actually stoked about these lights. When I did that eastbound and down poker rally during the summer, that guy that had that pink Volkswagen Bug, I forgot his name again, but anyways, he had these lights up in his shop and I complimented them, and he actually had an extra box of lights, and so he ended up giving them to me for free. And then my big brother came out and helped me install them like 2 weekends ago, and they are phenomenal. However, I will say they're a massive pain in the butt to get up there. I know that there's different brands that are probably easier to assemble, but these ones are like a Chinese knockoff brand, I think. They still work awesome, and they're like LED strip lights in there, but you have to screw each individual piece to the ceiling, and they're too flimsy to set them up on the ground and then put them up there. So it did take us quite a while to get them up. It took like, I don't know, me and Tyson probably worked at it for 6 hours, but they're really nice, really bright, and yeah, like the lights that were in here before, like you couldn't see anything. There was no way I was going to be able to paint with that little light. So, and technically in a paint booth, you have to have explosion-proof lights, which means they have to be like covered with something. So some of the side lights have like a sheet of glass over them that makes them explosion-proof, because when you have all those like isocyanates in the air, they're flammable and could potentially cause an explosion, although very rarely happens. So it is important to have lights, and it's important to have covered lights, especially for like work safe reasons.
Somebody said Saturday morning here in New Zealand, so it's Valentine's in New Zealand.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day. Today is the day before Valentine's Day where we are. And actually, Kat brought me roses to work this morning and a little chocolate thing. I think she just did it to upstage me because she knew I didn't have anything for her.
I didn't know. You gave me all this pretty red dust.
I know. Look, happy Valentine's Day.
Ooh, that's a good question. Somebody says, what was your most hurtful encounter working on cars, if any? I'm assuming injuries.
Like hurtful injuries?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know. I've had a couple good ones. One time I had a 6-inch grinding disc explode. I was trying to cut off a frame horn on this one car, and this was like quite early on. Like maybe that was my like second year apprenticeship, and but yeah, I was trying to cut off a frame horn and I wasn't holding the tool properly, and I broke the disc, and it went flying, and I got a chunk of it stuck in my eye, and that was really painful. I had to go to the doctor, and they had to take like a Dremel, and they had to Dremel it off flush to my eyeball so I could blink. And then I had to go to like 4 different special eye doctors to get it looked at, and I still have like what they call like staining in my eye from it. So that one was bad. And then another time also with that 6-inch grinder, it happened to me twice, 2 days in a row. I was cutting out this one wheel well in Sarah's car, that car that we did for her on Rust Bros. And I was cutting out this patch of rust, and it caught and jumped back and sliced my arm open, and that one hurt pretty bad. And then the next day I was doing the opposite side wheel well, and it happened to me again, and I had like a cut here and a cut here, like 2 inches underneath of it. So I guess I didn't learn my lesson then. But so there's that time. And then I got like a little scar here. I was walking around. All air tools have like a little safety lever that you like flip up, like, or for like the angle grinders and stuff. And Helmet used to always take the safeties off because they bothered him. And I was using one of the tools with the safety off, and I had it connected to the airline, and I was walking from one side of the car to the other, and it went off while I was holding it pinched my arm, and it like burned through my sweater and then like cut through my arm. So I've had a couple bad injuries, but nothing that was like serious or life-threatening. I don't know exactly when, but I'll definitely be going back out there to help him. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to plan a trip Alberta way because I also got to go see my sister as well. And I was hoping to maybe go to Blair's for a couple weeks of work and then go see my sister afterwards, but we will see. Everything's still kind of up in the air, but I definitely will probably be out there in the next couple months at least.
We've got lots of happy Fridays and happy Friday the 13th.
Happy TGIF? TGF? Oh my gosh. Fun fact, Friday the 13th is our cat's favorite day, and she was actually born on a Friday the 13th, and this year her birthday also falls on a Friday the 13th, and it's not her birthday today, but there's actually 2 Friday the 13th that are going to be happening this year. So, anyways, yeah, cats in March 13th is Cat's birthday, and it falls on Friday the 13th.
Can't you take it in? You're on a course getting seriously injured. You know what? Actually, try your best.
Well,
just like, but you get injured in the most mysterious ways ever.
Well, and also too, like a lot of the times when I hurt myself, that was like really early into like my apprenticeship days, and you really don't learn until you do something stupid. And working on the trades, you're just gonna get injured. Like I don't know a single trades guy that doesn't injure himself on a monthly basis. Smash a knuckle, accidentally cut yourself, bonk your head. Like I mean, injuries. You're working in a trade, heavy equipment, dangerous tools. Accidents are bound to happen. That's why we have personal protective gear and other stuff. And the longer I've been in the trade, I've learned how to use power tools more safely and be able to control them better. So like I have way less accidents now than I used to. And sometimes even when you're wearing your PPE, you can still get hurt. And that's kind of just part of the job. And that's why we have, work safe and other stuff like that. But yeah, the longer I've been in the trade, the less I hurt myself. But those first couple of years, I definitely had some bigger accidents.
Somebody says, hey Cass, I'm a new subscriber. You're doing a great job of learning all aspects of restoring cars.
Thank you.
Yeah, give us a look, please.
Come say hi. You gotta say hi.
Not in my overalls. They won't know who I am. Hi. I don't know if I can see me. I'm lagging behind, but hi. I really hope if that's the original paint you got spec from the manufacturer. A lot of older boats manufacturers have a high lead based mixture that you will not want to breathe.
Yeah, no, this one's good. Yeah, I've been standing with a mask all day, but we're doing the live and I'm just hand sanding, so I'm not creating too much dust here. Yeah, you don't know about Cat's weird hobbies yet.
Somebody says, what happened to the pink pickup?
I still have my pink Chevy, but it's got some dents in it, so it's just sitting in my yard. And I need to put in some new, front end suspension in it. Tie rod ends and ball joints and stuff like that, but yeah, it's got dents, so now I just hide it in my yard in shame. I'm planning on fixing it, but I just don't really have the time currently.
Who's been the best mentor for you?
Out of all the mentors I have, there's 2 that have really stuck out. One obviously being Blair. Blair was an amazing mentor and he loves to teach, so he's been an amazing teacher and he's, really good at what he does. So learning under Blair has been definitely a massive advantage in my career. And then there's another guy that I apprenticed under at Fix Auto, and his name is Stacy Wheeler. and he was another absolutely amazing mentor, and I haven't worked with him in years, and he still keeps in touch, wishes me happy birthdays. If I ever have a question about anything, I always give him a call. He's a super awesome guy and taught me a lot as well. So I've had 2 really good mentors. I have had other mentors in the past that were not good, especially in those first couple of years. There's a couple of people I worked with that did not give me either correct knowledge or would rather me sit in a corner. But anyways, Blair and Stacy Wheeler were both amazing. Blair's taught me more, but only because we worked together for a lot longer than me and Stacy did. But
Was always wondering how you met Mike and the Rush crew, or
the Rush crew.
And started working for Mike.
So I actually didn't know anybody. I was still in high school, and I had taken my first year in auto body when I was in grade 11. So I was like 16 years old. And then in my grade 12 year, my parents were reading the newspaper at like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, as they normally would. And they saw that there was an article in there about this TV show starting in Tappan about restoring classic cars. And I had already had my first year. So they called me at like 2 in the morning and were like, oh my God, like tomorrow you have to write up your resume and you have to bring it there. And my mom always said that like I should be the face of the trades or whatever. So this was her being like, see, like this is opportunity. I was like, well, they're probably not hiring and they're not going to hire me. And my mom was like, well, you have to just do it for shits and giggles. Just promise me you'll go out and do it. And so I wrote up my resume that day at school and got one of my buddies to drive me out here. And it was during the swap meet that Vance holds down at the Auto Museum. And I saw Mike down there with the whole camera crew around him, and he was just basically going AWOL. He's like, I want this and I want this. It was very intimidating, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go to talk to him because that just looks like too much. And so I walked up to the Rust Bros shop, and the crew was sitting at the picnic table, and I was like, I'm looking for somebody I can drop my resume off to. And they're like, you want to work here? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you, a girl, wants to work here? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, hold on. And then they ended up like calling somebody, and I believe that somebody was like Matt or whatever. And then they're like, okay, well, leave your resume here with us. And then I got a phone call that next day and went for a handful more interviews, and then they hired me. And I still hadn't graduated high school yet. So I was like, is it okay if I finish out the last 2 months of high school before starting? And they were like, yeah, that actually gives us time to like get stuff in order and get this all approved and stuff. And so I went, finished my schooling, graduated, and the day after I graduated, I started at Rust Bros full time. Didn't know anybody there, just showed up at 17, resume in hand, and the rest is history.
Here's the language for that word.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't look. I think you missed it, but I was like,
I know, I gotta work on that.
So he says, wow, what a great story. And then somebody else says, why wouldn't you paint the plywood ceiling?
I am gonna paint the plywood on the ceiling, but what happened is before we set up these lights, I had painted the entire paint booth, and there were like actual like light fixtures up in there. And so I painted around them because I was just going to get new bulbs. And then I got these lights, and I was like, well, shit, I'll just put those up there. And we needed to cover up the pre-existing lights, so I had something to screw into. So I just threw the plywood up there, but I am going to get up on a ladder. I still have leftover paint from painting the rest of the paint booth, so I will go and paint those white. I just haven't had time to do it, but that is on my weekend bucket list.
Somebody says, keep them look like it, or keep them like that, which would be, yeah.
Well,
staring directly into the light.
Well, and also too, the reason you'd want to even paint it in the first place is just because, I mean, it could have dust, whatever. It's better to like paint it, makes it a little smoother. And I'll probably end up taking some like caulking and just caulk the edges so none of the dust from above those light fixtures like shimmies its way down. So And I still have to go through and take, what do you call that stuff, expanding foam, and do all the bottom edges of the paint booth because the drywall's all kind of cracking up and it's getting dust under there. So there's still some things I have to do to this paint booth to kind of get it better sealed so that there is no dust shaking down. But yeah, painting those plywood pieces is on my bucket list, and so is caulking around the edges of everything. Originally, after I finished building the Corvette, it was running properly, and then Mike and Tony ran it out of gas, so the fuel pump died. And the fuel pump is like literally 3 nuts and 2 hose clamps. And Matt ended up picking it up and bringing it back to his place in Barrier, so that's something that he can do by himself. It's a real simple job. It's running an electric fuel pump, so if you run them out of gas, they overheat. And I wasn't there when it happened, so anyways, but Corvette's not my car, and it's gone, and I fulfilled everything I had to do because the only thing I was doing to it was putting a new motor in it and painting it. So Corvette's gone. Matt still has to get the interior redone and the exhaust done, and then he'll have to swap out that fuel pump.
Somebody says, is that your truck? And at first I was like, how does that look like a truck? But where the wheel is, and like the back, it looks like the box of the truck. So I was like, what do you mean truck?
This is a 16-foot aluminum Lund boat.
So somebody asked, what was the most difficult car you worked on? I know.
Most difficult car, Lincoln Continental. Yeah, we did a Lincoln Continental. That was the first car we ever did at Rust Bros. That one was really complicated. Especially that era. They were like ahead of their time, but they didn't have the right technology to be ahead of their time. So they used a bunch of different solenoids and different stuff and wired it super weird. And there's only one Lincoln Continental mechanic, and it's Jay Leno's mechanic. And we actually got in contact with him when we couldn't get everything working on it again after we put it back together. And he told us, basically, we can try, but we won't be able to figure it out because he's like the only guy that can do it. And that we might as well, instead of spending the time trying to fix it, we might as well put it in a shipping container and send it to him in the U.S. And we actually ended up getting it figured out. It just took months. So the Lincoln Continental was bad, and then, yeah, I think that was the only really bad one that we had like issues with. I do work for Mike sometimes now. I am helping him build a 70 Charger right now, but I'm just doing the body work to it, and I'm in between my shop and his shop, but I'm not an employee for him anymore because I run my own business, but I still do a lot of work for him. He just has to like pay me as a business instead of an employee.
Have you had the chance to go fishing recently, or is it the wrong time of year? We were just talking about this.
There's lots of opportunity. My boyfriend's been fishing lots, but we've been trying to do more social media stuff, and I've been busier in my shop than ever, so I haven't actually done anything fun, and it's been a while. Yeah.
Sorry. Derek since 1999.
Thank you, Derek. It's very nice of you. Did you have a question with that?
No, just for me.
Oh, thank you.
What's your favorite part of restoration work, metalwork or prep or paint?
I enjoy the metalwork the most. It's a lot funner. It's also a little bit more creative, like when you're making custom patches and stuff like that. I really like it. And it's something that I'm good at, but I still have a lot to learn in that respective area. And for me, when it's like challenging and I have to like figure out how to make it work, it's a lot more enjoyable. Prepping and painting is just like really tedious. And once you kind of get the base knowledge of paint, there's not like a whole lot more to learn unless you're like changing up your paint products from what you were using previously. But yeah, painting's okay. It's just tedious and takes a lot of time and whatever. So it's not my favorite, but it does pay the bills, so I'm not going to complain too much about it. And it seems like everybody just wants me to paint. Like, there's so many people day after day that are just like, hey, can you paint this for me? Which, I mean, is good. It's good for business. But I'm also not a ticketed painter. I mean, I'm more than capable. I have my first year in paint. I just haven't taken my second year yet. But yeah, so everybody wants paint done by me, and I'm not really sure why, but so now that I have this new paint booth, it definitely makes it nicer.
We've got hey Cass, love your work and your direct keep moving forward. Keep it up and we'll keep watching.
Thank you.
David says, when you're getting a shop dog, Lincoln doesn't count. Lincoln totally counts.
Lincoln counts. I actually, my dog Sierra, who's been my shop dog for years, she passed away over Christmas, New Year's break. And I'm pretty fucking heartbroken over it, so I'm probably not going to get a dog for a while. But her dog bed is still in the corner over there. She's just not here anymore.
Do you spray any waterborne?
I do not spray waterborne paints. I'm mostly just spraying solvent-based paints.
Was wondering what your boyfriend thought of that old blue speedboat that you filmed taking a look at when you went to visit Donnie, because that thing was sick. I would have bought it on the spot. Well, yeah, because that video was taken with Donnie.
Oh, yeah, that was a while ago. He really liked the boat too, but he had just bought a new 16-foot aluminum boat, so he didn't have money to go buy another one. So we never ended up getting it. He did really like it though.
YouTube channel, I can't say what it is, or like,
Yeah.
well, anyway, it's Madam Cat behind the camera. Hi, Cassidy. Yes, I am.
Yeah, Kat's behind the camera. She's just refusing to put a microphone on, so I don't know if you guys can hear her asking me all the questions, but she is there. It's not dead. You're just...
I'm just trying to give you a break. Somebody says your pants are too short, and somebody says
They are
you
too
with
short.
the high water pants.
You know what? I bought these pants and I didn't know that they were gonna be that short, and generally short-legged pants are not something I have to consider because I'm really short. So I actually don't know what's going on with these pants, and they're really nice for the summertime and not for the wintertime, but I haven't done laundry this week, so these were what we were working with today, and I wasn't expecting to get exposed like that.
No, I'm sorry.
I thought about ripping the seams at the bottom because these pants actually are really comfortable, but yeah, they're like floodwater pants. And I'm already short enough, and I know that they just make me look shorter. So, thanks for calling me out.
Ooh, okay, so we do have it where sound should still be good.
Microphone's still on.
Yeah, mic is still on. Mic is still good. Let me know if you guys have been here from the start. Let me know if the volume's gone down.
Yeah, if you guys have been here and watching the live for a while, if you've noticed any like difference in noise or if it's getting quieter, just let us know.
You have to get loud.
I have to get loud. First you tell me to stop yelling, and now you're telling me to yell?
Don't yell at me, yell at them. You're on the record, you'll be able to connect.
Okay, it's just not Bluetooth connecty.
Oh, it's connected good. Oh no, this thing no, it's good.
Okay.
So it's good. Please try something. It's not working. Okay, sorry. Carrie says, giving condolences for Sierra. She said, oh no, I knew she had been unwell, but I didn't know she passed.
Yeah, I was actually like, Sierra's always had health issues, like since you guys first saw her on Rust Bros. She was actually like 5 weeks old and her mom stopped taking care of her, so that was a pretty good indication that the puppy's probably gonna die. My parents were dog breeders, so you go through it a lot, and you always try to save the ones that get abandoned by their mothers. And you know what? She was fine for the first year and a half of her life, other than she had an irregular heart murmur. And then when she hit a year and a half old, she started having seizures, and they diagnosed her with epilepsy. And then when she was kind of like 2 years old, she stopped walking. Like she could walk a little bit, but she limped on basically all fours and couldn't walk upstairs or anything. And then we got that figured out and the epilepsy under control. And then she started getting chronic eye ulcers. So she's always had a lot of health issues, but for having all those health issues, she was always a really healthy dog. And then like had no indication that she was near passing or anything like that. But right after my birthday, my brother called me and told me that because he was watching her, that she wasn't eating or anything like that. And I was like, okay, well, maybe she's just depressed. And so then I ended up taking him to the airport and then going picking up my dog. And I looked at her gums because he said that she wasn't eating. And I thought maybe, like, sometimes she'd chew on rocks and shit. So I was like, okay, well, maybe she just has, like, a broken tooth or something. Because she was and she was lethargic. And I opened up her mouth and her gums were white. And so she was in some sort of organ failure and brought her to the vet. And they ran some blood tests and couldn't find anything wrong other than she only had like 8% red blood cells left. And it was going to cost upwards of 10 grand just to even get a diagnosis. And she was kind of going downhill pretty fast. And so she ended up holding out till New Year's Eve when my brother got back from Christmas, and then we all said our goodbyes, and then the vet ended up actually putting her down for free because we didn't have like a whole lot of money during that time, and after like paying for all like the blood tests to see if we could help her. And it was really sad. She was only 7, but I did think that she was going to have a little like shorter life expectancy, and from everything that like the tests that we did to rule out a bunch of stuff, basically it was pointing that to like faulty bone marrow, like something malfunctioning in her bone marrow. So she would have had to get like bone marrow samples, and that would have been super painful, and she would have needed regular blood transfusions, and I wasn't going to be able to afford that. But if I were a millionaire, I would have given that dog absolutely everything. But she's already racked up quite the vet bills and whatever. It was really sad. She was literally a perfect dog. There was nothing wrong with that dog. She was the greatest. But anyways, R.I.P. Sierra. She's buried in my yard, and I can see her outside my front window now, so at least she's home.
So David Wayne wants to know, will the live show be on Friday?
Yes. And also, I'm going to shoot for, like, we're trying to get the live schedule figured out, but I'm shooting for, like, at least doing one live every Friday and every Monday, I think. Mondays I'll probably do them between 3:30 and 4:30, I'm thinking, or maybe 3 to 4. And then we're going to try to do them on Fridays that same kind of time. Today we decided to do it a bit earlier because Kat has a Galentine's Day thing that she's got to go to. So, but yeah, we are going to try to do Mondays and Fridays.
Car show will be hosting you in the Rust for a crew to do a signing. Would love to meet you guys. I'm surprised they haven't already invited you guys.
Yeah, that would be super awesome. I've actually never been to Detroit. I know that they have a massive car culture, and I do know some other like female car girl influencers that are down in Detroit that I would love to go see, like Auto Body Barbie and stuff. But
Oh, and Honey passed too, so sorry.
yeah, Honey passing is sad too. But Honey was an old girl. She was very old.
How old was she?
Oh, she was like, well, I guess she was like 12 or 13 maybe. Pretty old for a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never fun to lose a dog, and dogs always just so much, I don't know, just so much better than, yeah. I mean, there's like, dogs are just like, I mean, they're like purely sweet and loving.
So, Mceown wants to know what you're working on.
This is a 16-foot aluminum Lund boat.
And then somebody else wants to know if it's one of your flips.
This is not one of my flips. This is actually a client paint job. And then, yeah, there's a guy down the road who runs AAA Marine, and he does boat maintenance and boat storage and winterization and that kind of stuff. And all of his clients come to him asking for like where they go for a paint job, and there's no places that paint boats really. And if they're the couple of shops that are open, they're like a year and a half wait. So he is trying to send some of those simpler jobs to me that don't require me having to spray gel coat. So this one I'm doing just as a tester, see how profitable it is, how hard it is to do, and then I'll decide if I'm going to take on more of them or not.
Yeah, I forgot. Somebody actually also asked if you're going to do a podcast.
We are going to do a podcast. The podcast will be coming soon. I was thinking about doing like we're still trying to find or get a co-star like solid. But it'll either be my friend Graham from that golf cart video or my friend Liv, which you guys have seen. But we are going to start filming the podcast at the end of February. And we're going to try to film kind of a couple to start, and then we'll do like a soft launch and just see how you guys like it, and then we'll go from there. But we are going to start putting out podcasts. So end of February, we're going to start filming, and then I'll let you guys know when we decide to start like posting the podcast, and then we'll probably just post a couple and see how you guys like them, and then see what kind of content that you guys would like to see out of the podcast, and go from there, and just like, so that we can make something that's enjoyable to watch. I think we're going to make it more comedic than technical, just so that it's like more based. We're planning on making it more based on like the character and personality traits of people in the trade, and less about the technical work.
Somebody says blocking the boat, you can get it off the trailer.
It's better. I have two engine stands that we're going to use to lift this boat off of the trailer and dangle it in the air. I just want it on the engine stands for the least amount of time possible. So I'm prepping the whole outside, or the top outside of the boat, and then once I'm done this, I'll go and put it up on the stands and sand the underneath.
Somebody said the podcast could be Cassidy and Kat. It would be great.
Kat wants to film and not be like the face in all of it. And also,
I wouldn't mind doing one or two.
Yeah, I think she'll definitely be a guest star,
I don't know anything.
Yeah, Kat's not a trades girl. I mean, she is learning.
Terry can hear me. Boring Kat. Yeah. Anyway, one or two.
Yeah, she'll definitely be in it, but also we need somebody to film it, and that is what she does. So, but yeah, she does come in some of the videos, but what?
Here's what's going on in the chat. Someone says Kat would be the best co-star. Again, Kat is camera shy. Sometimes.
Yeah. I really dragged her into this. She wasn't even, when she started, she's like, okay, I don't want to be on the YouTube. I want to just be behind the camera. I don't want to hear anybody talking. And she's slowly coming out of her shell. But it also is really hard to decide to go and be on a channel and do it full time and like put yourself out there, because there's just like so much negativity online. And also, if you're a private person like Kat is, like Kat also doesn't even have social media. So it ends up being a huge invasion of privacy if you're a private person. And, I respect that.
Terry says she's an artist, not media tech.
Yes. Kat is an amazing artist, too. She's naturally good at it. Yeah, Kat's like, topic switch.
Yeah, we love you, Kat. Okay, thanks.
I told you, everybody wants to see you. I keep telling her that all the time.
Are you building a damn boat?
Just getting a paint job. I'm trying to stay away from full restorations just because they take so much time, and I'm a one-man band, and it's just doing a full project by yourself. It's a lot. So I'm trying to stick to smaller jobs, and there's not a lot of small restoration jobs, like maybe, like, and I mean, I know that there's lots of people that just want, like, small fixes done, so that's kind of trying to what I'm focusing on, but the most people that want small jobs done are on newer things, and apparently boats. I take the work when it comes.
Hi Cassidy. Did I miss Honey Blair's podcast? Do you have an Amazon account for you and use the shopping chat? Keep up the awesomeness.
I did have an Amazon thing up in the link in my bio. I don't know if it's still there. The camera company changed the password on me, so it's an old list. I don't think even the things on the list are available anymore. And I tried fixing that, but I just haven't dedicated enough time to that headache yet. What was the other question?
No, I think that was it. Just keep up the awesomeness.
Thank you.
It says, hi ladies, hope your day is filled with happiness, joy, beauty, good vibes, love and hugs, peace and love.
Thank you.
Right, we love good vibes. Someone says, love this girl.
Thank you.
And somebody says, Cat needs a microphone. I will get a microphone next time. I promise.
Just go grab your microphone.
Jesus Christ.
People want to know what you are doing.
Okay, I'm grabbing a mic. Grabbing a
I
mic.
finally bullied her into it. Probably charged by now anyways. I've also been getting her to wear a mic when we're filming for the YouTube channel because she never wears a mic, but then she always says funny things behind the camera. I'm like, nobody can hear you. You have to wear a mic.
Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I think I'm at 6. I'm going to turn myself down before so I'm not so loud.
Hello, hello, hello.
Okay. Alright, there
This
we
is
go.
the most tedious frickin' job. Sanding in the grooves of this boat. I'm actually over it. And you also have to hand sand around like every single rivet, so you make sure that you get all this, like, honestly, prepping this boat, not my favorite, but
Somebody says you need some sandpaper, and everybody says, Madame Cat is on, we hear you, yay, way better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll keep a mic on. Promise. Yes, precious.
you're basically more famous than I am now.
Can you show the boat?
It's kind of like hard to show the whole boat in here because it's a smaller room.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. I can back up. I'll give you guys a good look at like a quarter of the boat. We gotta lift it up still, but
Yeah.
everything is in progress. Sorry, I'm wheeling in my chair. Cat's got me a wheelie chair, and I'm not getting up ever again.
Yeah, the wheelie chair, it's easy to get sucked into that thing. It's pretty comfy.
When are you gonna do touch-up paint on the Porsche?
Probably not for a while. The Porsche is another one of Michael's projects. I'll probably do it after he kind of gets the rest of his stuff figured out, but before I even think about the Porsche, we gotta finish the 70 Charger, and that's still, like, there's still weeks of work left on that to get it to paint, so it'll be a while. And the thing about Mike is you can get sucked into working for him full time very easily, and I'm trying to avoid that because I can make more money in my shop than I can helping Mike out, and I feel too bad to charge Mike my shop rate after all he's done for me. So anyways, I'm helping him out on a couple projects, but I'm not going to overdo it, otherwise I'm just going to end up being his employee again, and then all this work would be for nothing. So
Somebody says, what color are you painting it?
the boat's going back to the same color red. It's just called Lund Red. Yeah, they just wanted the boat to be cleaned up. It had like a bunch of like pretty major scratches all down the side, and then the bottom of the boat has been so worn down that it's basically all bare aluminum under there. So yeah, they're just wanting it to get cleaned up, put back to the same color red.
Somebody says, vote stands for breakout another 1,000.
Yeah, it does.
That people give to vehicles and stuff, like Ford and now
I think
boat.
the people that own this boat have enough finances that probably don't care.
Terry says, I'm a 70s kid, so the Dodge Charger was always my dream car because of the Dukes of Hazzard. That
Yeah.
was my first favorite car too. I remember
Yeah.
when I was little.
They're pretty cool, and the one that I'm working on at Mike's, it's an original pink car, and it came with like the 318. It was like a base model pink car, and so with its specific specs, there was only 18 of them produced. So it kind of is a rare car, and he's got, you know, the factory Pink Panther VIN tag for the firewall and everything. So it's going back to the Panther pink, which obviously pink's my favorite color, so I'm pretty excited to see it in paint. But we should do Dukes of Hazzard's car. Around here in the Okanagan, there's this guy, and he's got a smart car that he's painted like the Dukes of Hazzard car, and on the side of it, instead of saying General Lee, it says General Wee. I've had a pretty good chuckle about that. I never read the side of that, but I've seen it going around, and then I got sushi the other day, and I walked by it, and I was like, oh my god, the General Wee, that's hilarious.
Somebody says the boat will be red. It looks pink on camera. The door near Cassidy looks red.
It only looks pink because it's like dusty and sanded, but the underneath side is like dark red. It's like darker than this. But yeah, it just kind of looks that way because it's all sanded, and there's like kind of some gray primer dust mixed in there as well.
He said General Lee is in 1969, though. How looks so close to me? Like, they look different, but like,
Yeah,
I
they're
can't tell
slight.
unless, like, Cassidy points out trim packaging and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, minor differences.
Yeah. Here in the UK, I have a 69 Dodge Charger and a 79 square body pickup.
Nice. So close. I'm almost finished sanding these grooves, and then I just have to sand all the rivets.
All right, so it's 2:55. Everybody get their questions in because we got
5 minutes left. Yeah. You almost need like one of those like countdown clocks like they have at the hockey game, you know?
Yeah. Somebody's like, when did you get them cool lights?
2 weeks ago, I put them up. Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks since I put them up. I've had them for like 6 months though. Well, okay, I haven't had them for 6 months. I got given them 6 months ago, and then I was in Alberta, so I left them at my sister's house and told her to ship them to me, and she only shipped them to me like 2 weeks ago, and so then I put them up.
Johnny says, good night, keep up the good content.
See ya, Johnny.
And
What?
I don't know, that was cute.
My dad used to have a friend growing up named Johnny.
Terry says, I had a Land Rover Defender, but it had to go with costing too much to keep it.
They're pretty cool. Also, I'm a sucker for a Land Rover.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta look that up then. There's no comments, I'm putting my 2 cents in. I just got a magazine for trucks just because I wanted some reference photos, and there was a Mercury M100. I think it was 1963, and it was the unibody, and I'm obsessed. I'm not sure if it's because it was just painted green. Oh, those are beautiful.
I mean, Mercury made some beautiful trucks.
Oh god, yeah. But I texted Cassidy and I was like, we need to find one. There's only a couple made.
Yeah.
And they're so ultra rare, especially the short box.
I told her that if she could find one on Marketplace, we could build it.
Oh, somebody said, have you thought about the electric sander? Tell them
Electric sander. I used a air sander on the side of it, but I'm standing in between tiny little grooves right now, and so the sander, because they're flat, it won't get in those grooves. And every single groove has to be sanded, otherwise that's where your paint's gonna fail and chip. So it sucks, but it is 100% necessary if you want your paint to actually stick. Otherwise, trust me, I would be doing something else.
He says howdy from South Texas.
Howdy. My aunt lives in Texas.
So he says sounds groovy. Oh,
It's a pun.
Jerry says Cass would have a meltdown because if she saw it because it was brush painted with NATO desert paint.
Brush painted.
Yeah.
Hey, now I even saw it at SEMA, now they are advertising this primer that's like roll-on primer. And apparently lots of shops are starting to use it because then they can prime wherever they want in their shop without worrying about overspray. So I guess roll-on primer is becoming real popular. I don't know how I feel about that, but apparently it actually is really good, so.
Oh, David said, as your #1 fan, have a great weekend and see you next week. Give a thumbs up.
Thank you, David. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, David. See you next week.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day.
That came out with an accent, didn't it?
Yeah. In Canada, when we get tired, yes, you
Tired. Yeah, there he goes.
We get a weird little accent. I mean, I'm not.
We start off the day talking normal, and then by the end of the day, it just becomes full Canadian.
Yeah.
Same thing happens after a few brewskis. Then the Canadian really starts to come out. Start talking with a draw.
I know. Graham made fun of me for that.
I know he did.
I was like, can you grab my stuff off the tire? And I said, tire, not tire. He
Yeah.
was like, tire? And I was like, Graham.
Graham, shut your mouth.
Graham's tired.
Right now, Graham's actually in Vietnam with his friend who's a war nut. He was always a history nut. I actually used to get his friend to do my history homework in high school. But yeah, so now they're in Vietnam together looking at war stuff.
So we got a couple more questions. It is 3, but we'll answer a couple more questions in comments here. So, what was that one? Hold on. On square body, the engine only had a compression on 2 cylinders, so out it come, and I put a diesel in it. So
Sick.
That was on square body. And then
Nothing better than a diesel square body.
somebody says, are you going back to Blair's to help finish up the Nomad?
I don't know if I'll go back to finish up the Nomad, but Blair has some projects that are his own personal projects. And Blair has actually never, ever built a car for himself. So when I go back down, I am going to try to help Blair build something for himself. And the Nomad, he's got to finish. Unless he decides that he doesn't want to, then maybe. It's pretty easy to talk me into doing more work. It's one of my downfalls, I guess.
Somebody said, good morning, Vietnam. I can hear it in the Reddit. Carrie says, have a great weekend. Enjoy your Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
And then, yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh, wait, we got one more question. Hold on. Oh, just saying goodbye to you. I'm going to sleep in Italy. It's time to go to bed. So.
I wish I was in Italy. Actually, Kurt's sister is traveling through there in the next couple weeks. She's hitting up all the places. All right, guys. Well, we're going to end it here, but thanks for hanging out on the live. We are going to do another live Monday from, let's just say 3 to 4, but I'll put it up on my stories and start the countdown so you guys get notified. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you guys don't miss out when we pre-schedule these things. And keep out an eye for the new videos that are going to come out next week. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, asking questions, and happy Valentine's Day, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Bye, guys.